Welcome to Voices of the Dead. I'm Eric Nightshade, joined by Auzzy Blood today as we delve into his identity, explore his passions, and what drives him. Hello, Ozzy, and thanks for coming on the show today.
Thank you guys so much for having me here on Voice of the Dead. It's honestly an honor. I love being able to reach out to just kind of homegrown publications like this and podcasts to just share my subjectivity and experience in the world.
Definitely, I'm glad we have you on board. So I wanted to ask, how did you get into the freak show and sideshow business? I don't know if I'm calling it the right thing or.
Yeah, those are the perfect type of terminology words to use. It's very different person to person, but I love the term freak personally, just because freak show fits it. It's so abnormally weird what we're doing with the human body with these types of stunts. But yeah, I got into freak show performances and doing these types of death defying stunts mainly because I was a weird theater kid in high school. And after high school, I moved to Las Vegas and didn't really know what I wanted to do. I worked at a movie theater for quite some time when I first moved to Vegas, and then I wanted to go to school to be a paramedic or something in the medical industry. Paramedic school is full, so I ended up starting school to be a certified medical assistant in the CMA. And at that time, I was also inspired by a gentleman who worked at the Venice Beach Freak Show. I don't know if you've seen the show from AMC that was about the freak show out in Venice. But
Yes,
there's a
I did.
gentleman. Okay, great. So you know more. Um, Funny thing is, I saw him in 2011 out in Huntington Beach doing street performance, and then saw him on the show later and connected the dots of who he was. And like, wait, I saw that guy before he ever worked at the freak show. And so I started reading some of his work and diving into that area of philosophy and just self awareness. And reading his book kind of changed my perspective. And then I started to ask myself, well, do I want to work for a doctor the rest of my life, or do I want to have adventure while I'm young, dumb, 18, and can make the mistakes, that I might not be able to make later in life because of having responsibilities or, owning a home or whatever, wherever my life was about to go. So I basically, while in school, started teaching myself stunts, learning about the human anatomy really helped navigate everything. So by then, around 2014 of December, I started teaching myself stunts and doing street performance. And then it just kind of all turned into a lifestyle. Through that, I started getting booked gigs. And then from there, everything just took off. I made, social media channels and YouTube, and it all just kind of corresponded. And here I am today, almost 10 years later.
Wow. I didn't know you've been doing it that long.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually first saw you. I was actually a vendor at Blackbeard's Freak Show.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, up in Vermont.
Yeah, that was a great event. So you were there at the first Freak Show Carnival we did.
Yep, pretty much. Yep, the very first one, I believe that was, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He had brought me on for the first one. Ah, that's great.
Yeah. And so when you do your well, have you ever doubted yourself when you come up with a new stunt?
Well, plenty of times. There's been so many moments that I questioned why I'm doing what I'm doing. Is what I'm doing too dangerous sometimes? Is this going to be the time where I actually get hurt and go to the hospital? Because in my career of performing, I've never gone to the hospital once. So it's I even like the newest thing I just taught myself, which was I started incorporating an aerial sword swallowing act, which I was creating for Britain's Got Talent. But yeah, even going into that, I'm like, I had this idea of swallowing the sword, getting lifted up in the air, and letting go of the bar to drop to the ground and do like a superhero drop. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I don't know what this is going to feel like just having a sword rapidly ripped out because of the force of my gravity, not the gravity pulling my body down and removing the sword from my body while it's still in the air. I don't know if this is going to hurt. This could really hurt, hit my heart if the sword bumps my heart. So yeah, there's always that doubt and fear and worry, but I try not to focus on it. I try to use it to think critically to allow myself to not get hurt. I try to think of all the ways something could go wrong, and I try to prevent that from happening as much as possible.
Oh wow, yeah, because I seen your perform when I seen your performance, I was like, wow, how does this guy do that? And then like I see you post now, and like you're doing stuff that's like 100 times way crazier than what I saw back then. you know?
Yeah, I'm always trying to advance. I'm always trying to evolve everything I do. And just, I always want to keep pushing myself. There's always that risk and fear of death or severe injury, but that's in everyday life. I mean, my whole philosophy is you could walk outside, be driving on the freeway and get hit by a drunk driver, and that's that. Or you could subjectively and consciously put yourself into new experiences, try to overcome whatever fear and doubt you have, and make yourself stronger because of it.
Yeah, definitely. What's your biggest struggle you think when you're perfecting a stunt?
Probably resources. For me, there's lots of stuff I want to do, but it's having the time and resources to accomplish that thing. So like one of the other various acts I wanted to create. Have you ever seen somebody do rollabola? That's where they take the board that's like a plank, and then they have
Oh,
like a
yeah.
metal drum or a plastic barrel or something that they balance that plank on, and then they usually stack cylinders, and it gets really extreme to where the stack is super high, so the
Oh, yeah.
balancing is even harder.
Yeah.
Back in 2021, I started training rollabola on this teeterboard balance thing, and I was able to do it really well. And there was one point I got up to where I could swallow a sword. So I was able to do that because at the time of who I was working for, they had the rollabola, so they were allowing me to use it. So I haven't been able to put that stuff into a show or incorporate it live for any event, mainly because I haven't had the resources for it. So if I had more time too and resources, right now it's like a balance of, okay, I got to do so much a month to pay rent and survive, pay grocery bills as we all do, which is a normal aspect anybody lives through. And then I have to have that extra money set aside for whatever new equipment I want to create or buy. So it's like a process of figuring out what's going to work best when it works out. And what I want to accomplish is not merely like off of scarcity, but it's a matter of fact of what do I have the resources to do now, and that I can build up for later, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Um, like everybody has a little bit of creativity in them, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
What do you consider your greatest artistic skill?
Ooh, that's a tough one, honestly. Because I'm somebody who used to doubt myself a lot until I became a full-time performer. I would say my best creative skill is honestly working under stress, pressure, and still finding a way to overcome. I know that's a strange creative skill, but I think it's something people don't use. If I'm given a deadline and a small amount of resources, I can make that opportunity unfold, and I can make it come out as something decent. Uh, that's just something personal. I think is a very important creative skill when it comes to any type of activity with some creating something. Other than that, I would say my welding skills are probably very resourceful and awesome, because it's awesome when you can use welding to create signs and other things that have helped me financially along the way, and the fact that I'm able to create my own equipment too.
That's cool. So I have a question. Do you remember your first gig?
My
Um, and like what I wanted to know, like what your best and worst moments from it was, if you remember. I'm sure
let's
you
see.
remember, but
So do you want my first like paid gig that I did because at like an event or a thing, or do you want like my first time street performing?
let's go with the street performing because that sounds interesting.
Okay, so I remember like no tomorrow my very first time doing street performance. So I had been hyping up that I had been putting something together at work, and this is at the time where I was working at the Spine and Joint Institute. We did cervical and lower lumbar rehabilitation. Anyways, I was hyping up that I was going to be out on Fremont Street stapling dollars to me, eating glass, and hammering nails and stuff into my nose. And so I was doing that, and I got out to Fremont, and I had somebody with me that could film a couple of the tidbits here and there. And so I was just trying to pull a crowd in, by screaming, yelling, getting them to make noise, and then showing them I was going to do something crazy. And I would pull out the nail and hammer it in. It was challenging because it's Fremont. It's so overstimulating out there. There's people everywhere. I don't know if you've ever been to Las Vegas and Fremont Street, but it's chaotic. There's drunk people, there's people taking photos, there's people in costumes taking photos of people, there's bands playing, there's lots of stuff going on. So in the midst of all this, I'd set up and just tried to gather a crowd. And they were not impressed by the nail in the nose. And then I would eat a light bulb, and people were so disgusted they were walking away. And what actually started to pull people in was the tip stapling. So I let somebody staple $1 to me, and then people were actually started pulling money out to do it. And so I allowed people, and I didn't have a lot of verbiage at the time, or like way I was really bartering at the crowd or talking at them. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of fumbling all over the place. It wasn't really well done. I was just struggling a lot. And then I also had one of the other street performers next to me who was like the buff shirtless Indian guy who's, obviously posing with women to take photos. He was like trying to get people to go over to him, and he's like, I don't know this guy, but isn't he looking weird as hell? Sorry for cursing. But it was just, yeah, it was really an awkward mess. And then I had a bunch of people show up from work, and they helped me get the crowd going. And that was a fun experience. So I'd probably say the worst part was dealing with the overstimulation of trying to get people to stop and look at you from having never done it before. The closest thing I would probably say I had experience similar to that is like improv in high school drama class and doing the
Yeah.
plays and the theater stuff. And then the best part was having all of my coworkers from work actually show up, staple money to me, support me, and get that symbiotic experience of like, holy crap, this is harder than I thought it was going to be. And especially when I'm doing something that disgusts people and make them uncomfortable.
Yeah. I don't have to be honest. It entertains me when people get disgusted at your performance. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's almost fun people watching.
Yeah. And like in all the years you did your performances, like have you ever had something just not go as planned and you had to fix it and you were able to pull it off or not pull it off?
Yeah, I've had a combination of all of that. I've had things where I've forgotten certain props and literally like had to walk off stage and go grab the prop and I've had to say something funny to make fun of myself and it happening like oops forgot something. Oops, guess I got hammered and it was a hammer I had forgotten. Guess I got hammered before work. Oops. So there's a bunch of different situations where that happened. There's also times to where I was in somebody else's show and like I had a hook ripped out of my face because we didn't get to see if it could hold all my weight. And literally when I was doing a meat hook suspension and somebody else was lifting me up, I wasn't lifting me up by the rope, caused the hook to unbend from all of my weight on it and get pulled out of my face. Excuse me, I had a hiccup. And so yeah, I would say I've experienced a wide variety of mishaps. There's even one time I forgot like the smack pipe that I used to smack one of the swords into myself. And so I ended up having to use a sledgehammer, and it was just really awkward because that was the closest thing in reach. So yeah,
Yeah.
there's a variety of things. When you're a
Oh wow.
performer, you learn to adapt to the stage. If you make a mistake, you've just got to own up to it and try to make the best of the situation without doing anything that's going to get yourself hurt or hurt anybody else.
Yeah, I think I've seen a video of you like recently doing like you were doing the the hooks, but you were doing sword swallowing while doing the hooks. Is that what you were doing? Is that what I seen? I don't remember.
No, I don't think you have that right. I've never done that
Oh,
before.
okay.
But because of the way the hooks come out of the back of my throat, it's impossible to get a sword down my throat at the same time.
Oh, okay. I see.
Unless you're talking about me hanging from hooks in my flesh, I
Yeah.
had the suspension hooks in my back, and I was able to swallow a sword at the same time. If that's what you
Okay.
meant.
That's probably what I saw.
Okay, yeah, yeah. There's so many different types of hooks, right?
Oh yeah, I know. And,
Face hooks, skin hooks. What's the difference?
right. I I I enjoyed like I seen some videos like you were on America's Got Talent, and were you on British Got Talent too,
Yeah,
or
the
just
Britain's Got Talent was this year. I've actually done six Got Talent shows altogether throughout my performance career in the last, all since 2022. So the last 2, 3, like 4 years.
oh wow, how did that go for you?
It was a good
Like,
experience.
how far did you go? Like, I was just curious, like how far you went in the
I
competition.
I made it to the semifinals for Britain's Got Talent, which was a really cool experience. I got good proposition from Simon, and he said a lot of really good things about my performances. I actually got a standing ovation from him. And then, yeah, so that's honestly one of the far accomplishments I've had with Britain's Got Talent. The other Got Talent shows, I didn't make it past the audition, or I was up for like the crowd vote, and a lot of people think I'm too scary, which is a compliment personally.
Yeah.
But that's why I usually don't make it past semifinals because my acts are too intense for a majority of the normal public.
Who would you say your biggest influence is?
Oh, Jim Carrey for sure. Jim Carrey is my biggest influence because of his comedic style and delivery on screen, and just as a stand-up comedian, as an actor, and just his portrayal as all a variety of different characters. My favorite character overall that he's played is the Riddler. Hence, why I have Riddler tattooed as Jim Carrey on my chest.
Oh wow,
It's
that's awesome.
just the way he played that villain was so over the top, so ridiculous, so corny. I just loved it. And as a kid, that was super inspiring for me. That character he played and the mask character Stanley Ipkiss, just two combinations of body language, comedic presentation, and uh, he just has such great character development with anybody he plays. It's awesome to see how he can just bring out the nature of humanity and overdo it in a funny way.
Yeah, he's a great actor. Like the way he just takes the character and runs with it.
Mm-hmm. He does what he wants, no matter what he cares
Oh yeah.
about anybody else thinking about it.
Like you're almost like a magician if you think about it, of sorts. Because
Yeah, yeah.
if you think about it, and like um, because a lot of people are like, how did he do that? Like how do you identify with people like Harry Houdini, people like that? Like that's one of my favorite magicians. That's why I bring it up. So.
Well, so I've always loved magic growing up as a kid. I actually was into magic as a child. I think Harry Houdini is a great inspiration to a lot of young magicians. I was never personally inspired by him myself, mainly because I don't think I got that deep into the magic and stuff. I actually associated with, and I don't like him anymore, which is a funny story, but I associated with Chris Angel as a kid more just because my generation, he was on TV with the Mind Freak show. So it was something I regularly saw or I watched with my parents and thought it was cool. But then as I got older, I realized kind of how much of a egotistical individual he was. And I've heard the same thing actually about Harry Houdini from other magicians who have read books about him. So I associate with them as very interesting and inspiring people, but not somebody I'd look up to like I do Jim Carrey.
And in your journey, well, what's the one thing you never expected?
Hmm. I would say I never expected to make as good of a connection with the type of audience that I have of alternative and different cultured people. I never expected to be able to travel to 7 different countries to be able to perform my stuff for television for each of those countries, and turn it into an entire lifestyle. It's honestly a blessing on so many different levels to be able to do this for a living and work for myself and have the freedom and capability to explore all these different things in life because of the job I have.
Well, what do you think your biggest failure is, and how did you learn from it?
Well, probably my biggest failure is um, I think the way I jumped into Sideshow stepped on a lot of toes. Not that I care indefinitely, but a lot of people disliked me for just starting to teach myself and not ask for permission. So I guess the failure is not making a good connection with these individuals first and making a bad name for myself. That hasn't hindered me in the long run, I don't feel personally. But I would say if I could go back and change one thing that I feel like I failed at, it's connecting better with individuals who could have helped me explore this career and different avenues of it a little bit more deeply and from their own subjective. But that's one thing I would say, you know, is a failure and could have been done and handled better.
Oh yeah, I can see that. And if you could give your 18-year-old self advice right now, what would it be?
To try to keep the best attitude you can when it comes to dealing with others that don't like you. No matter what, don't let the anger or the upsetness of somebody tearing you down consume you. Just try to keep a positive mindset and keep pushing forward.
All right. And do you got like some events coming up like you want to plug or?
Lately, I've been working at Zach Baggins Haunted Museum. So if people want to see me in Las Vegas, that's the best way to. You can come see me on Wednesdays at the Haunted Museum. The rest of the days, I'm at another undisclosed role in the house. Don't want to give that role away because it's a fun surprise in the house. But yeah, people can come check me out at the Zach Baggins Haunted Museum. Other than that, I don't have anything exciting coming up. I'm kind of a period of growth right now. I'm taking a break off of a few live events. Like I've had a lot of offers, but because I'm working more consistently at the Haunted Museum, right now I'm trying to save money for some future projects, and I'm looking to move in the near future, so we're saving up some money for that. Other cool projects I have, I've just got lots of cool ideas for social media that I've been doing. I'm probably going to be doing a triple jaw fakir video here soon, so I'll be shoving 3 of those giant 10-inch skewers through my jaw all at the same time, getting that on video. We'll see if social media allows that one. But other than that, yeah, I'm just in a kind of sit back and save and work on myself period instead of put myself out into the public so much.
Yeah, so social media will be like, oh yeah, you can't put that on there.
Mm-hmm.
They do that to me too, so it's like,
It's frustrating how they restrict. It's like it's supposed to be this avenue and area we can post our thoughts, but there's so much restriction to it. It sucks. That's why I still run my Patreon sometimes, because I'll put more of the sensitive stuff that I know gets taken down on there, because then you don't have to worry about it.
is there anything else you want to cover while you're on?
No, I just want to send inspiration out to anybody listening that, no matter what you're going through, whatever fears, doubts, or insecurities you have going on in your life, don't let them hold you back. Try to push forward, step out of your comfort zone, and accomplish whatever you want to, whether you have these dreams you want to manifest and make reality, or you want to become better at an art form or a subject or a skill. Just try it, step out of your comfort zone, because at the end of the day, you can accomplish anything you put your mind to. And the only thing that's going to hold you back is your fear or your doubt of whatever you're afraid of in the end. So that's really about it. I'm just here to try and inspire and do what I love for a living, and hopefully see other people accomplish some cool stuff too.
It's definitely a good message to send out to people.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, I think that it's going to conclude our show today. I think it covered everything that I wanted to cover, but I really appreciate you coming on and speaking with us, and or me.
Yeah, it's no problem at all. It's honestly, like I said, I love getting to know people through this avenue, and I think it's good to leave little breadcrumbs for other people to hear, and hopefully give them a little fuel in whatever they're needing in their day. And sometimes I've gotten that from podcasts I've listened to, so that's all I try to do for others.
Well, that's awesome. All right, well, thank you for coming on. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day or night. All right.
All right. Thank you so much. And you have
You're
a
welcome.
beautiful day yourself. I'll talk to you
Thank
later.
you. All right, bye.
Brass gears and golden jesters hover over my bed at night. Taunting and haunting reminders of deception that hid from sight. They made me think I had been shown the secrets of the universe, but it was all a lie, a vexation meant to make me worse. I will no longer